this is your Gambit here with a new stream, and this stream will be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. But yes, starting off, title, I didn't really think of much of an interesting title to be honest, since first of all, I already did 1.5 times on an Acid Lab cell mission for title in the past, so I would have had a repeat title if I did that again. But it is pretty much the best money thing going on, I would say, this time around personally, so I do highly recommend that one. There was a bunch of last ditch stuff going on for the last couple weeks, so putting something like that for title didn't feel very ideal. And really the only other money opportunity was pretty much deadline stuff, it looked like, so that's just what I went for with the title, to be honest. But yes. Something kind of fails to mention, by the way, on the main menu here. This is the very last week for the Last Dose Hard Mode event. So if you have not participated in the Last Dose Hard Mode event, this is your last week to do so. For some very certain clothing rewards, and there's even a cool weapon finish as well. Even if you are not a big fan of the clothing rewards, I would definitely do it for the micro SMG finish. It's not the same one from one of the promotional artworks. One of the promotional artworks they did had a micro SMG with a camo on it. Same thing from now, which is pretty fucking cool. So even if you're not big on clothing unlocks, I would definitely go for the weapon finish. And yeah, there is a new set of benefits for the Plus subscription on the 9th gen versions only. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Since those are the only systems that support the subscription so far. And yeah, I gotta say it's one of the worst weeks, I would imagine. Not weeks, but it's one of the worst plus 7 months, I would say, for sure. I feel people kind of over-complain about the slam truck, sure. I feel the slam truck's not as bad as people say it is, as I will explain later on. Or maybe I will do it here. But there's some pretty bad stuff going on as well, especially for money bonuses. Yeah, it's not necessarily a very great month. Okay, sure. Vapid Slam Truck. People's main problem with it is you can't really, use it as a tow truck. You can't, place a vehicle in the back. I very much agree with that. And then, another thing I very much agree with is you cannot really use it as, a ramp either. Apparently, if you run into it with, a motorcycle and stuff, you end up falling off of it instead of, being able to use it as a ramp, which is pretty lame. So I don't know, it's a very anti-fun vehicle, which is pretty boring. There's a couple things I like about it now. One thing is it does have hydraulics on it. Hydraulics, it's not very huge. It's nothing super impressive per se, but I mean, at least something kind of makes sense on it with the hydraulics, I suppose. So that's something at least. And then the classing's pretty unique. It's in the utility classing, which not a lot of vehicles in DLC seem to be in the utility classing. And then last but not least, trying to think, I think there's a third thing I was trying to think of as well here. Oh yeah, the classing's pretty unique, and then it also performs pretty good in the class as well. Sure, utility races probably would not be that often of a race type, but if you do somehow do a utility race or something, then it's pretty good performance from what I recall as well there. I guess I'll mention the performance on here on the Ruffy 152's spreadsheet, and they typically go off of a racing YouTuber. Since I'm talking a lot about it already, I might as well do that now. Since it is on this main menu after all. Slam truck in the utility class is in the A tier. Each tier for utility class, there's apparently only like one vehicle for each tier. It's behind the Saddler, but it's like second best lap time for sure. It's also second best top speed, apparently, going off a Broughy 142 spreadsheet. So you're getting some very nice utility performance. Not that utility is very huge for racing, like I said, but still, it's something. Like, yes, there's more negatives than the positives, but the positives are still pretty nice for the Slam truck. And yeah, you get double supplies on your acid lab resupply and steel missions. Eh, pretty sure you only do that for the missions, and buying supplies doesn't get you double. It sounds like you shouldn't really do the missions. It's like your other passive businesses where the missions are not so great. Because instead of like doing missions for supplies, just buy the supplies and then you make your money through other money methods instead. So you can make them profit in a different way. Instead of wasting your time on pretty useless missions. So yeah, the mission part's not too great for like the supply missions. Yeah, the sell missions. I want to say I heard the regular amount, like on the high end, was like 500,000. So you can kind of get more to like 700 to 800,000, I think. And that's in a pretty populated lobby and stuff, I believe, as well. It's a pretty nice passive business. Especially with the motorcycles. Those are some pretty nice sale vehicles for sure. But yeah. And then you get the arcade drone station. Arcade drone station, not really too useful for the most part. It's only going to be useful for player versus player, which is pretty niche, I would say. Most players in this game probably mostly like to make money in the game, I would argue, so... Like, yeah, player versus player is fun, but... can be fun in some ways, I mean... Yeah, player versus player is quite niche, I feel, so not really too good for the drone station per se. I think an actual arcade would have been better than doing the drone station, like, renovation or whatever, but yeah. Oh well. And there's a couple motorcycle helmets that can be obtained. Just some cosmetics. Free mode bonuses. 3 times money RP on those like free mode events and like the purple text essentially. Not purple text, but like the purple like box things essentially. It's those like free mode things where you have to have like 6 or more players. There's like the purple like boxes and like text that show up for them. Eh. The only super great one I feel is criminal damage, to be honest. I think normally that's like 35,000. I think it's normally 35,000 for criminal damage if you win it and whatnot. So I think you can make over like 100,000 on criminal damage, which is pretty nice. Definitely for sure. And it's pretty viable methods. It's pretty viable methods of using like a laser, like I would say a Hydra, like a Savage mainly. Using those at like the military base is pretty much the best way to complete criminal damage, pretty much. So that's my main advice for free mode bonuses there for the subscription. Besides for that, some of the other couple better ones I think are like the air checkpoints and then Hunt the Beast. And yeah, same free mode events and challenges, not just events. Challenges probably as well. There's ones of pretty crazy strategies for like free mode challenges, like longest jump in a vehicle, and there's certain vehicles of like rocket boosts that are very helpful for that. So that's an example for like a free mode like challenge, that like jumping one in a vehicle that can be used in some ways. There's a bunch of easy challenge ones like a low flying and stuff like that. At least in my opinion, it's pretty easy. Yeah, honestly, aside for criminal damage, it's not one that's super reliable, I would say, per se. But yeah, if you do have a subscription, definitely take advantage of criminal damage. With like Forza Kudo and like an Hydra or Savage like explosive cannon, pretty much. And yeah, some discount stuff as well. More on that as I get in the game now. Or at least that's what they say on there. What is this fucking... What even is this fucking benefit section right now to what's new section? Seriously? Dude, that's been there forever. Basically all that shit I reset from the main menu. And then this is pretty much the same shit from the main menu too. The fuck? The only thing this adds is like how you start the acid lab business. Are you serious? Like, what is this shit? At least here they mentioned it's that last week, unlike on the main menu where they don't really mention that at all. No mention of the Panther coming back for just 1 week though, and that's weird. But yeah, something new is the like Tundra Panther is back for 1 week. One of those time limited vehicle releases they did during Drug War DLC. So you have like 1 more week to get it until May 17th, I'm pretty sure it is. Honestly, that was probably the worst What's New section, I feel. One of the worst What's New sections they've ever done. Provide almost nothing of interest on there. Pretty much. The only thing I really added was the fucking... It's the last week of the hard mode event. Fucking garbage now. So sad how quick they abandon features to make them almost useless and shit. Not now, at your old, I'll do that later. I don't know, since I am next to it, could maybe be good to do it now, honestly. Sure, fucking. Guess I'll start off with stash house this time. Might as well, since I'm right here. I don't feel I'm usually right next to one when I'm going to the casino and stuff to start off. Let's build most in the city, to be honest.
Let's get out of here! Trying to get killed! Coming for you! Oh, shit! We got some injuries! Cover yourself, dumbass!
Alright, I found it already. 72, 60, 83. And I think it was 83. Yes, okay. I thought it was like 82 or 84 something for a second there. Alright. Wonder what I'm gonna get with this one. Wheat farm, man. Can at least be useful on a rare occasion for the street dealers. I don't really sell MC businesses in South though. And yeah, when it's from that, it's only for the MC business and not for the nightclub, I'm pretty sure, for the stash houses. So, yeah. At least they can use it for street dealers, which I have been taking advantage of. And yeah, for something like the weed farm, I'm selling on it, or I'm just a street dealer. But yes, now like I usually do around this kind of time, I'll go over to time trials and I'll be going for podium vehicle and stuff like that. But yes, regular time trial is Great Ocean Highway. Given it starts on the city and stuff, I assume it goes on to the highway for the most part. So this is definitely seeming like it's mostly going to be oriented to not high speed, but top speed. Now for 9th gen, you pretty much want to use the HSW vehicle. I think it's pretty blatantly obvious in there. Some of your good HSW choices. HSW Hawktail Drag, I think tends to be the best HSW, really, being motorcycle based and not car based. Because motorcycles just take a lot less space. It's quite simple there, really. And then HSW supercars, I think, tend to be some of your better options in some sense. HSW weaponized Ignis, I don't think you can use it in the town trials just because it's weaponized, which is kind of weird, but I guess at Criminal Enterprise onward, I believe they restricted weaponized Ignis, unfortunately, which is your main lifetime option. So thankfully in this one it shouldn't be too impactful, at least. Not having the weaponized Ignis as an option. Coil Cyclone 2. That one's like an electric car HSW vehicle. So therefore it's going to have some disadvantages for top speed, because that's kind of the main weakness of the electric cars. However, it does have acceleration, which means if you're stopped, you can get put the top speed pretty quickly. Just said top speed's not going to be that great compared to other HSW vehicles. But being a car, it's likely you would be put to a stop, so that could be pretty helpful. And then into the MT, the newest HSW supercar from Drug Awards DLC, the NDMT. Pretty garbage lap time for HSW. I believe it's in the 20s per lap time, which is garbage for HSW for sure. But top speed is a pretty nice one, but I probably wouldn't use it over the next one I'm going to say, which is the one I'm personally going to be using for the HSW time trial personally, and that is HSW Devastate 8. But HSW Devastate 8, it's very good top speed and not terrible lap time either. So no reason really using TMT over the Devastate HSW, as far as I know, from personal experience and whatnot. And then, yeah, some of your better general top speed options for HSW tends to be the ones from the Criminal Enterprise DLC. Criminal Enterprise DLC HSW vehicles, I think, are still the couple top speeds for the 9th gen version. And that is your Benefactor Sterling GT HSW, and then the Vigero ZX HSW. Vigero ZX HSW is pretty much the #1 top speed in the game, apparently. So that's like my 6 to 7 options I would mainly focus on for HSW, really, if you are fortunate enough to be on the 9th gen system. Now for 8th gen, where it's not as clear, Nagasaki Shotaro, I think, is a pretty good one, like the Tron bike. That's used in the Deadline Adversary mode. That's on the 2x on the RP for this week. That bike in that Adversary mode is a pretty good one for time trials. A regular Hawktail Drag can be quite good on 8th gen in particular, where you do not have HSW. Power is nice because I think you can lean forward or backward with the stick for the best possible speed. Hawktail Drag, you can lean forward with the stick for the best possible speed, as if you're doing like a stoppie, which is like one of the only couple vehicles that can do that, which is quite nice for the drag. Regular and HSW, by the way. And then the Western Power Surge, whatever. Power Surge is a pretty new, interesting, good option, I would say, for the Drug War DLC. And unlike the electric cars, I feel the top speed doesn't suffer too much at all when it comes to the power surge. I want to say it's less than top 5, but I think it's within top 10 still, which is pretty good. Top speed for the power surge, that's new with the drug war DLC. The very latest motorcycle edition. And yeah, from what I remember hearing, it's just like the Yotaro where you can do forward or backward with the stick for that possible speed. A pretty cheap budget option. That would have to be the $15,000 Body 801. $15,000 Body 801 is a pretty decent performance option for time trial still. If you want to go with something pretty cheap. With engine upgrades and stuff, that's probably still under like 500,000, I imagine for sure. And yeah, I'll give a couple like mainly top speed options, which sounds like it is what you want to focus on this time. And that is the Western Reaver. Western Reaver actually is the #1 top speed as far as I've heard, even on 9th gen, even past the HSV drag, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, HSW Hawkdown drag actually does have better lap time though, so it's generally the better option. But yeah, the Western Reaver is pretty insane top speed for a motorcycle, and that's an 8th gen as well, because there's no HSW on that one. And then another good top speed option would go to my Botsy Manchester Scowl. My Botsy Manchester Scowl for 8th gen is a pretty decent top speed. And yeah, it's like a dirt bike or whatever, so it could be pretty good for off-road. Not that that's probably very necessary on this one, judging by the name. And yeah, the last couple I mentioned, by the way, you pretty much do backward on the stick as if you're doing a wheelie, which is what you typically do for like 90-ish% of motorcycles in the game. You do backward on the stick for the best possible speed. RC Bandito's time trial this time around is a little soul park. Yeah, a little soul park. Really, the RC Bandito time trials, there's not too much advice to give on them since you only used one RC Bandito vehicle for the time trial, judging by the, not judging, but going off of the name. I know that for a fact. So really, just over time of doing it, you should probably learn how to like corner on the track and everything if you really want to go through it and everything. Otherwise, just look up a video guide or something like that on YouTube, pretty much. I feel just over time of respawning and doing it again and again, you should eventually get it. Not that they're really too worth doing, I would say they're only like $100,000. And they're definitely the most stable time trials of the game. They're pretty uninteresting, I would say. And the HSW time trial this time is Textile City. You go from Textile City over to Stab City. And as you may notice, there's no part-time for these, so you can use any HSW vehicle you want. I already gave my like 6 to 7 like recommendations though. Going into supercars, if you're not going to use a motorcycle, you should probably use supercars. Going back to this regular time trial, I pretty much already mentioned supercars for 9th gen, but for 8th gen, 8th gen lap time options, I'm pretty sure is like the Progen MRS. Then it would go to Benefactor Krieger, and then it goes to Benefactor LM87 from like Chrono Enterprise. I think is the top couple, what I believe is the top couple lap time options from what I recall. And then for top speed, top speed for 8th gen. It's pretty much the P-Fist 811, which is like a mid-2016 vehicle from like Finance Pony, whatever. The regular Devastator 8, I believe, is pretty good for top speed for 8th gen, where you don't have HSW for Devastator 8. The regular, like, NTMT can be pretty nice for top speed, where you don't have HSW on 8th gen. And I believe something like the Banshee 900R, like the Benny's upgrade to like the sport car Banshee that turns it over to like the supercar Banshee 900R, that Benny upgrade for the Banshee tends to be pretty good for top speed from what I recall. But yeah. Going back to this, there's no part-time, so you can use anything you want really here. But I pretty much gave my top 6-7 recommendations again earlier. And yeah, for those that aren't the most familiar subsidies over here, to get more of an idea of like where the like destination would go to. And yeah, premium race for the week goes to supercar class. I pretty much mentioned all kinds of options for supercar class for 9th gen or 8th gen, so no need to really do that again. For the map, you have to go into premium race. Unfortunately, see the map, they took out the ability to see on like the pause menu map for some reason in like actual game. You used to be able to see that, but you cannot anymore. But when you get into the lobby, you should be able to press like square, X on Xbox, and whatever like key on PC, and you should be able to see the map of the race. So you should be able to see a map in some capacity before you start the actual race. And again, that's the very last week for that, since it's not pop up there. But yeah, for the most part, you'll want lap time if it's in the city or has like a lot of corners in general. Only very niche situations I would probably recommend top speed if it's on like a highway, like primarily, or if it's on like the airport runway or something like that, like a really huge street, pretty much. Which most races don't tend to have that though. And yeah, as far as I know, the weaponized Ignis is mainly just blocked off on time trials, not really for races, so you might be able to use the lap time focused weaponized Ignis there though.
Hello. Just let me know. Goodbye.
I forgot I even got like actual money from that. Stash house, whatever. The mounts are very pitiful, I pretty much forgot.
Throwing a party at your penthouse? Speak with guest services and
Yeah, I'll say what the vehicle is after the spin. You did it before, but whatever. Alright, 15,000 chips. I do like my chips. I will definitely take chips if I ever spend them one day. Okay, this is one of those like rally style sport cars, I'm pretty sure. Sport class. Sport class apparently has like 100 vehicles now as of like the fucking drug war DLC, which is fucking insane. So as of the current DLC, there's a literally triple-digit number of sport cars in the game, which is fucking crazy. And yeah, the rally sport cars don't really tend to be that great. I think it might be like GB200 or something if I recall from the newswire if I looked up before doing the stream. I don't get to the opposite here. Okay, yes, it is the Vapid GB200. That might be on legendary. If not, then it's most definitely on stubborn. Sun Sandra Super Autos. Will preview has some discounts, by the way. Okay, yes, it's the legendary Vapid GB200 from the Sun Sandra Super Sports Series DLC. Which is a pretty infamous DLC for introducing like some of the advanced handling flags in the game. Some of the like advanced handling flags that cause vehicles to perform not that great. For whatever reason, I'm not the most knowledgeable on it, but vehicles with advanced handling flags don't tend to be that great, and this update was pretty infamous for introducing it for the San Andreas Super Auto Update, whatever the fuck it was called. But yeah. By getting this vehicle, you save at least $940,000. Plus if there's delivery on it and you keep delivery on it, it's probably another like $20,000 to $30,000 at most. So probably $960,000, $970,000 around there at most for savings. Under a million in savings, it's honestly pretty unimpressive, I feel, for a podium vehicle, to be honest. You can get like a $1 million vehicle pretty easily in at least 1 hour, I would say. It's not very difficult. Going over performance from roughly 142 spreadsheet. Okay. Vapid GB200. According to roughly 152 spreadsheet, it is in the F tier for sport class. F tier in the sport class means it has pretty bad lap time right off the bat. Makes it 66th place for lap time, which is below average for the entire sport class. And it's actually even worse for top speed. It's actually 76th place for top speed, apparently. So that's pretty fucking garbage. You're not going to get any good performance on this one at all. Like I was saying, it's one of those like rally style sport cars which don't tend to be that great. So I'm not too surprised there with the performance I just mentioned. So now to go over stuff at the test track and everything. Little heads up, by the way, I don't think there's any discounts at all in the test track from what I've heard, so from what I read on Rockstar Newswire, so probably won't do too much details talking about those unless they're tuners, maybe where you have like the tuner subclass to worry about in addition to the main class of the vehicle. So I don't think there's really any deals this time around on the test track. So I'll just give some like predictions. I'm not gonna go into exact numbers if you're not on discount though, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the vehicles this time around is the Dinka Jester Classic. Pretty cool throwback vehicle there. Albany Vista. I think it's one of those like four-door sport cars. Four-door sport cars isn't the most often thing, so that's something nice. And then the Overclock NTMT. I kind of already said stuff about this one. Saying it's not on discount, kind of said a little bit about it. So look again on the newswire. I'm pretty sure none of these are on discount. Alright, yeah, I don't see Jester Classic. Don't see Vista Reaver. And yes, no NTMT. Looking at the discount section. And yeah, look at the test ride section. It doesn't mention any on discount here either. 2 are sport cars, 1's a supercar. But yes, I think a Jester Classic, contrary to the name, is in the sport class, which people say is the more realistic, like, classing for the vehicle. For this one, so the classing's pretty realistic apparently on it. But because it's sport class and not sport classic class, it does not tend to do very good from my understanding performance-wise. So performance, you're probably not going to want it for performance whatsoever. Instead, it's a cool vehicle to have for like a throwback vehicle. It's in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It has the pretty much exact same appearance to what the Jester looks like in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas back in the 3D universe, which is a pretty cool throwback. It was a vehicle you could take into one of those like more interesting mod shops, I think, in San Andreas. It wasn't like a traditional mod shop vehicle in San Andreas. I think you could take it to Wheel Archangels or something like that. I forget what it was. It's some certain mod shop in San Fierro. It's a pretty cool vehicle in that game. It's definitely a pretty fun vehicle. Fun fact, it was actually meant for the San Andreas Super Auto update, I believe, but there was issues with it, so they pushed it back to like after hours. Because people found it in like leaks and stuff. Because like 2016 onwards, I think you can like find like vehicles in like the game files or something, or at least up to a certain point. So yeah, they reworked it in after hours, which is pretty cool. So it does have a lot of effort. So it does have a lot of effort to it. So yeah, it does not perform good. Just get it for the nostalgia throwback to the 3D universe, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Albany Vista. Again, it's not on discount, so I'm not going to go into exact performance numbers. As far as I know, the best 4-door sport car in the game is the Ocelot Jugular. Pretty sure the Ocelot Jugular is the like best 4-door sport car in the game right now. I want to say I remember this one has some. I want to say I remember this one has some pretty nice top speed actually for the sport class. Maybe not top 10, but maybe more like top 20 for top speed or something. If I remember right. Again, I'm not going to exact numbers there, so it's not discounted, so take that with a grain of salt though. But yeah, being a 4-door sport car makes it pretty interesting, since there's not too many of those per se compared to 2-door. And yeah, the NTMT, the regular one can be pretty nice for top speed, like I said earlier, for 8th gen. 9th gen, it does have an HSW upgrade, which makes it definitely worth it on 9th gen. 8th gen is not necessarily as worth picking up though, but definitely 9th gen I would pick it up for HSW alone. Alright, and then prize ride vehicle this time around, the one you can earn for free. Bravado Verlier, or whatever the fuck. I think it's a sport car from like mid-2016 finance felony DLC, similar to the P-Fist 11 I mentioned earlier, which is a pretty nice supercar for top speed. Challenge this time. Involves the Street Race Series. You just gotta place top 5 for 3 days in a row. Besides for 3 days in a row, that's a very easy challenge. We have Street Race, 2-player minimum. You can do 2, 3, 4, and 5-player street races, and you're basically guaranteed entry. 6 or more, and honestly, you have to be pretty competitive there. So it's very easy to test for 3 days in a row. Since you can earn it for free, I will go into performance on that one. So I gotta find it for a moment here. On the spreadsheet. Pretty sure it's in sport class. Alright, yes, it is in the sport class. According to Bruffy 1322 spreadsheet, it is in the D tier, which means it has pretty bad lap times starting off. Said lap time for the earlier is 57th place, which is in the below average section of the entire class. And top speed is 26th place, way out of top 10. So yeah, challenge is easy for a reason. The vehicle is not really too relevant for performance in particular. HSW test ride has come around. Grotty Brioso RA. It is in the compact class, I'm pretty sure. I want to say it's the compact class for this one. I believe it's the only vehicle in the compact class as well, I think, with an HSW upgrade. So pretty unique classing for HSW vehicles. That makes it pretty worth it, I feel. Anything HSW is pretty good in this game. In some capacity. Yes. Another little heads up for luxury autos, by the way. Once again, I do not believe they're on discount. I will talk about this ones though, because they are actually good for combat capabilities though, or something for like free mode. They are a Monty Tech vehicle, so I think they are worth talking about still though. I just won't go into exact performance numbers since they are not on discount. But yes, like I said, they're good for combat capabilities, and that's because it is the Ocelot Virtue and the Bache Champion, both of Monty Tech vehicles, as I mentioned earlier. At 2.2-ish, that's definitely a regular price again, and Champion at 2.8. That is probably the new inflated like trade price on it. So it would be like 3 million without a trade price, and they increased the price in the drug war DLC on the champion.
Hey, what do you say we go get something to
And
drink?
yeah, I'm checking the newswire here before I go into them, make sure they aren't on discount.
I don't care if we spend the
Seeing
entire
those
time
prices,
sugar
I
trapping on a
definitely don't
Del
think
Perro highway
so.
drinking out of a flask. I gotta get out of the house. Lester's Epsilon, his brother, is staying with us.
Alright, yes. They are not on discount,
Exactly.
confirmed.
Girls' night is happening. I'll text you. Bye.
So the Ocelot Virtue. Ocelot Virtue is the very latest addition to the Monitech family of vehicles. And those vehicles have the option for armor plating. Even without armor plating, I think you get a very tiny bit of homing launcher explosive resistance. Like maybe take one or like two rockets at most and get blown up on like the second or third one without armor plating. Sticky bombs, RPGs, stuff like that, you blow up instantly, I believe, though, without armor plating. So you definitely do want armor plating for free mode survivability. Unfortunately, it is one of the like newer Monolithic vehicles, so you do not have the bullet resistant glass. Champion over there does have bullet resistant glass though, so if you get this one, you get some bullet resistant glass, you get a tiny bit of bullet protection, but not very much per se. But yeah, being a Monitech, you get access to silic mines. Silic mines, as the name suggests, they make vehicles like spin out of control and whatnot. But yeah, silic mines are nice for getting vehicles to spin out of control. Aside from that, they're not really too practical though. And then another difference that's worth knowing about when it comes to like older and newer Monitech vehicles.
You're through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride? I'll bring it to you.
Seriously, how the hell did that happen?
You owe me $20. Maldita sea! Greetings.
Oh my god!
But, but yes. Apologies for like jumping away from like the mining tech stuff there for a moment, but somebody was kind of in my way in real life, so yes. Had to kind of do something different there for a moment. So I'll try to quickly recap what I was saying earlier here, once I get there again. But yeah. But yes. As I said earlier, these are mining tech vehicles, they have armor plating. Older mining tech vehicles only in the case of Champion, but not the Virtue is the bullet resistant glass I explained earlier in more detail. Actually, let me mention a little bit more there. I said it wasn't that much, but it's something like 16 pistol rounds, 16 assault rifle rounds, for example. And that's a couple like bullet numbers I know for like how much it takes to penetrate through those windows. Yeah, something as fast firing as an assault rifle having like 16 rounds so it destroys it. That's not too long per se. Especially if you're gonna have like consistent enemy fire and like certain contact missions and stuff like that. That's not gonna be the most useful thing. But still, it's something over a bunch of other vehicles in the game, nevertheless. Then the silk mines just spin like enemy vehicles out and everything, as you would expect. Alright, before I got really interrupted and stuff in real life and shit, fucking. What's it called here? Champion only, but not the newer Minetech vehicles like the Virtue. So only the like old like, contract DLC and Minetech vehicles have this feature, and that's front-mounted machine guns. Front-mounted machine guns give combat power and stuff. Yeah, front-mounted machine guns just give you like combat capabilities on your vehicles without having to use your own like handheld weapons with dispensable ammo. Front-mounted machine guns are nice with the unlimited ammo that you never have to worry about running out and whatnot. So that at least gives it more combat capabilities for like VIP works and stuff like Headhunter, which I think would be the best things these like Minetech vehicles really do for the most part. I feel outside of like VIP works and small money making opportunities, you're not gonna get too much usage out of these aside for like player versus player, like free mode protection and whatnot. Very good for player versus player for any Minetech vehicle. So yeah, between these two, the Champion's the better one with the front-mounted machine guns and a little bit of bullet resistance. And then, yeah, for the two, like, the two signature Amani Tech capabilities, remote control unit, the remote control unit that works best on electric vehicles when it comes to the Amani Tech. One of the two electric vehicles that is worth the remote control unit actually is the Ocelot Virtue right here. The other one that's worth it is the Omnis EGT, for example, from like the Criminal Enterprise DLC. But yeah, remote control unit for the RKC like car feature you can add to it. Very good, and being electric, you're not going to be heard in it too much. Electric vehicle is likely to still have a distinct look, but not be able to be heard in the vehicle. Since the vehicle doesn't make much of any noise, it's very damn good when combining it with that feature. And the other one, and then the other good Amani-Tech feature, and that's the missile lock-on jammer. Missile lock-on jammer, as the name suggests, prevents getting locked onto by like homing missiles. So you become a whole lot harder to hit with the homing missiles. Now Champion, unfortunately, despite being a supercar vehicle, you would think would have some very nice agility and stuff, but there's actually like a muscle car known as like the Buffalo SDX that tends to be better agility and tends to be quicker than the Champion. So even though it is a supercar, it's not really too speedy for an Amani-Tech vehicle compared to other ones like the Buffalo SDX and then the Virtue here as well. It's a pretty quick one, I think, for sure. At least in comparison to the Champion, being both in the supercar class after all. But yes, this one I definitely do recommend the missile lock-on jammer, as I would recommend with most of my tech vehicles in the game. Again, unless they are electric, which makes them actually good for a remote control unit.
Traffic was horrible. It took forever to
But
get
yeah,
here. At least I didn't have to ride the bus. Nice to hear from you. Tell me
but yeah, something interesting the Champion is known for is for like the small windows and stuff. People say the Champion has like pretty small windows, so it makes it hard to get shot in the Champion. That's definitely a nice thing there. Combined with that bullet resistant glass. And yeah, kind of mentioned already all the pros of the electric supercars, especially when it comes to the Amani Tech with our remote control unit. That's one of the main advantages of this one. So those are the main advantages you should consider when buying these and using them. But yeah, if you had to choose one to get, oh yeah, there's actually a big downside to this one, actually the Virtue I forgot to mention. Now every other Mine Tech vehicle you can actually throw like sticky bombs out of. Virtue, unfortunately you cannot unless you don't have armor plating. So if you don't have the armor plating, you can actually use like sticky bombs out of this. So unfortunately it does ruin the capabilities for it a lot. For like player versus player, like free mode usage and whatnot. It is unfortunately the only one that you cannot throw sticky bombs out of when it's armored with armor plating. Now I don't believe it's intended to work. Now I do not believe it's intended to work like that. I think it was found through like a data mine or like a leak or something, whatever terminology, and they just copy and pasted the armor plating of the Brigade 6x6. I don't necessarily think it's intentional, but it's very unfortunate in that case. Yeah, Brigade 6x6 with the armor plating covering the windows and stuff, it makes sense on that one not to be able to use sticky bombs. But it's just like any other mine tech vehicle when you can't even use sticky bombs, and it's a pretty major downside. So if that's a big deal to you, then I would definitely recommend the Champion. Even if not, it does have the front mounted machine guns, which is a pretty nice advantage. Honestly, I would say if you only have the ability to get one, I would kind of say the Champion. But the Virtue you can actually get for free, actually, if you complete the last dose missions. So, do not buy this one, you can actually get it for free. I forgot to mention that too until now. But yes. By completing all 5 last dose missions as host, you actually get the Assault Virtue for free. So therefore you don't want to even buy the Virtue. So don't buy the Virtue, just earn it for the missions. So if you're buying one, definitely get the Champion. Even though it did raise in price. Even though it did raise in price recently, it is a very nice vehicle. Now granted, you might not be using it too much because it's mostly for free mode. If you're mainly doing like missions and like heists and stuff, you probably won't really be using it now. To be honest. But still, they're very nice, capable vehicles. They're both great. Ooh, store gallery? It's my first one actually, so I think it is actually. Well, they died pretty easily actually. I mean, they are pretty generic NPCs, so I guess I can't be too surprised. Now you can either steal it yourself, but you can either take it yourself by waiting the time limit and stuff. You kind of have to like stall out for the timer. I don't know if you can do much of anything while you do that, so people say it's just mostly worth taking to the store. Honestly, it's probably just worth taking it to the store in my opinion, knowing that fact. If you don't return the cash, you get a wanted level and whatnot. So really, it just really stalls out what you're doing, so I would probably just return the cash if you want to do something more profitable. But if you're doing it for fun, obviously, then it could be worth stealing it. There is a good Samaritan award, though, in the game, I believe, so that's something. But I don't know, maybe get like 40,000 or something instead of like 20,000 in my case, for
Every time a
example.
show comes to that place I want to see, I have to go
But yeah, I
visit my
didn't get one of these
parents.
before, so I figured I'd kind of talk more about it.
At least Mom and Dad redeem my dry cleaning.
That was a nice surprise there, for sure. First one of those I even got. Alright. 1 for bronze, 2 silver. I assume it doubles each time, so like 4 for gold. Probably 8 for the platinum, I'm guessing. Probably the little award you get for Good Samaritan. I don't think there's necessarily a reward for stealing the cash. So at least for your first several times, I'd probably go for the returning it for the award if that's anything you care about. But yeah. Simeon's, by the way, there is 2 discounts there apparently. So there is actually discounts here on like the other like showroom areas and whatnot. So do keep that in mind. So there is actually discounts here. So there's stuff that could be more worth buying than normal here. But yeah, starting off the classic, the Homa Coupe. It is actually one of the 2 discounts. It's a pretty new vehicle release, so that's kind of nice. Though it was free at one point, so it's kind of hard to recommend it, I would say, to be honest. For anything besides for free, since it was free when it first introduced. It's probably like the heist challenge, whatever it was free there. But now it's paid, so it's not too worth it. So I'll say that right now. Very good classic. I think you can Benny upgrade this one, so that's an interesting one. The Willard Faction, again, that's one you can actually do Bennies on. Same with the Moonbeam as well, actually. And I think those are your regular price that are not on discount, but they're not too expensive anyways. And then Ocelot Locust. Pretty cool throwback vehicle from the 2D universe, actually, of Grand Theft Auto. I think it's in one of the like London titles from what I've looked up before and whatnot. So that's something cool about this one. So they've all got something kind of to them that's interesting, I suppose. Alright, yeah. Essentially the lowrider ones at like Benny's that are not the discounts. I looked again on the newswire. But yeah, starting off, one of the two on discount, Class A Tacoma Coupe. You can get on the website for a little bit cheaper since you won't be getting a livery. This one's a little more expensive because of the livery, but yeah. $1,073,939 of delivery. Still a little over a million, regardless, though, if you get on the website. You might as well get it if you want the really cool build with delivery and like the predetermined color on it here. I do like a lot of these different unique builds, and that's definitely some reason to get it here over a website. But yeah, it's in the muscle car class. You might see coupe and for some reason think it's in the coupe class. It's not. But yeah, it's in the muscle car class. Does not perform good, unfortunately. Now the spreadsheet I use is not updated to like Drug War DLC. It's updated as of Criminal Enterprise still. Unfortunately, I don't have exact numbers to give, but trust me, it's not good performance. It's a muscle car. It's not a sporty looking muscle car like some top dogs in the muscle car class though. Like the Buffalo SDX and like the Benny's like Weevil Custom and whatnot. That makes sense to be on the top of the class. It's clear not going to compete with stuff like that. Tacoma Coupe is pretty cool. It's a cool nostalgic throwback vehicle, similar to the Locust I was mentioning earlier. In fact, I think all of them are actually from like a previous GT game, which is pretty cool in this lineup. This one was in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for the 3D universe. It was known as the regular Tacoma in that game, where it was like a ballless gang car, which was super cool. It was pretty impactful to the story in that game. In that regard, kind of. So that's a cool vehicle for nostalgia, like 3D universe and whatnot. Besides for that, I wouldn't really bother with it. Again, it was free for the heist challenge, so if you did miss out on it, if you missed out on it during the heist challenge, it's not really too worth picking up anymore though, since it was free at one point. Dundreary Virgo Classic. Now I know there's two variants. I want to say the first one was the regular Virgo, and that's the one without Benny's, I believe, for the first version that was in this game. Since it predates Benny's. Alright, this one says it's regular Virgo. Maybe Severn San Andreas would have it. I think one of them might be on Legendary, but I'm not sure about the Virgo Classic. I don't remember here. I believe the first one was in the Old Gothic Games Part 1 or 2, which was like 2015, and then the Classic, I think, was like 2016 or something. It's hard to say, really. But I think there's two different Virgos in the game. Pretty sure. I want to say this is the newer one with the Benny's upgrade, for sure. So even though it's called regular Virgo on that website, I think it's the same one that's on Benny's. Because the original Virgo, I think, was definitely one before Benny's was a thing, because it was a 2015 DLC vehicle. But yeah, the old Virgo you can get in story mode and stuff, even since it is from Ill-Gotten Games, which was some of the last couple DLCs that made the story mode for the vehicles in particular. But yeah, Virgo Classic, I'm not going to go into performance numbers since it's not on discount. But again, it's a muscle car and not too different looking from the Talon Coupe in a way. It's not going to compete with the top dogs, obviously. It's the only one for like the customization. As for the game this one appeared in previously, I believe the Virgo is in the 3D universe and the HD universe. I think people say the Virgo Classic is more similar to the GTA 4 version, or maybe that's the regular Virgo. Which in that case would mean the Virgo Classic might be more like a 3D universe rendition from like San Andreas or something. Maybe even like Vice City or something. Either way, it's a very cool throwback vehicle, so that's something cool. Besides for the Benny's upgrades. So even though it's not on discount, I do think it's more worthwhile than the Coupe there, the Tacoma Coupe, if I'm gonna be honest. Now the Willard faction. Willard is a pretty rare manufacturer. There's not that many vehicles in the game with the Willard manufacturer, so that's something. It's also another throwback vehicle from Grand Theft Auto 4 and episodes in Liberty City. Had the pretty iconic T-roof and stuff in that game as well, I'm pretty certain. It's a very nice throwback vehicle to that game. Another muscle car that's again not going to be a very good performance. This one's pretty interesting. It is again a Benny's upgrade vehicle, so you can upgrade it to a Faction Custom. But the Faction, I think, is the only Benny's vehicle and it has two upgrades you can do actually. One was in the original Lowrider update, and it was the Faction Custom. But then they did like Lowrider Custom Classic. But yeah. But then they did Lowrider Custom Classic, which added the Faction Custom Donk. Faction Custom Donk, essentially the opposite of a Lowrider. Where Lowriders go low, the Donk goes high, essentially. Pretty cool. Makes it kind of more like a monster truck, which is cool as fuck. It's kind of. That's the best I can kind of describe the Faction Custom Donk in particular. But yes, two very interesting Benny's vehicles for sure on this one. So it could even be worth picking up two of them for the more interesting versions. And yeah, the Classic Moonbeam. The Classic Moonbeam is a van that you can upgrade into Benny's workshop as well. I know for sure it's in at least Grand Theft Auto 4 and episodes in Liberty City. I kind of forget if this one's in 3D Universe at all. I kind of don't think so. I don't know, I do think I kind of remember the Moonbeam in Grand Theft Auto 3 though, I could swear though. Either way, I imagine the one in 5 and Online, or not 5 and Online, but just GTA Online. Pretty sure the one in this game is more based on the HD Universe version, Grand Theft Auto 4. It's definitely a cool, like, iconic vehicle in that sense. I don't know I don't necessarily remember if it had much of a like mission significance. Same with the faction though, and the Virgo as well. But either way, they're throwback vehicles. Nevertheless, that's always something nice. But yeah, the Moonbeam definitely has some pretty wild customizations. I feel it's definitely one of the more fun vehicles in my opinion, personally, to customize for Benny's. I think the Benny's van vehicles tend to be pretty fun. Definitely. And then last but not least, Asylum Locust will be your other 30% off discount. Oh, and yeah. Fun fact about it, by the way, even though it looks more like a van, it's not in the van class at all, by the way. So it is in the muscle car class. If it was in the van class, it could actually perform pretty good, I feel. If only it was in the van class, I feel it could actually be pretty good performance for a lowrider vehicle here, for the ones in this particular showcase here. But because it's in the muscle car class, it's pretty fucking garbage though. Cause just look at it, it's clearly a fucking van, not a fucking muscle car. What the fuck? What the fuck, Rockstar? Why is it in the muscle car class? And then last but not least, finally for sure this time, we also have Locust. Only non-muscle car this time around, it is in the sport class. 30% off discount price for the one with delivery and stuff, for the very particular build at Simeon's. Whatever the fuck, $1,160,000. $1,160,300. Again, you could probably be able to get it for like another 20, 30,000 cheaper, maybe at absolute most, I would say. If you get on a website, but it'd still be 1.1 mil, so not really too worth. I feel it's definitely good to go to more interesting build unless you're not too interested in delivery, I guess. But yeah, very nostalgic vehicle. It's either in London 1961 or London 1969. It was in one of the 2D Universe like London titles, apparently, with what I looked up. Now, those probably weren't very popular, so it might not mean much for most people, but being a nostalgic vehicle at all, I think is always something good. Always nice getting more and more throwback vehicles in the game, no doubt. But yes, again, Newswired is indeed 30% off. So we'll go over the sport car performance for this one. Okay, the Locust. Similar to the Verlier, according to roughly 142 spreadsheet, the Locust is in the D tier. It's 50th place per lap time. So it's kind of like halfway in between the class per lap time. So not too average or too like below average or anything per se. It's kind of in the middle of this two. Definitely in the middle of average and below. God damn it, shitty fucking throat coming back then. But yeah, it's definitely pretty smack dab in the middle between. Pretty smack dab in the middle for sure between average and below average for lap time for the entire sport class. And then it's 39th place for top speed. So top speed's in the more above average section. It's more above average for its top speed, but it's still nowhere within top 10 or anything, so performance is fucking garbage, unfortunately. really, it's only great again if you want it for the nostalgicness of being in Grand Theft Auto London 1969 or whatever. Again, it's one of the London titles. It's one of the most niche Rockstar titles that's probably ever been released, to be honest. So it's probably not gonna mean much for most people, so maybe most will get past. Unless that means much to you.
Check out that loser! Cocksucker!
Okay, actually, let me do a general ranking here. I don't know, it's kind of hard to rank all of them. I feel they're all kind of good in their own ways and stuff. Being nostalgic for a lot of these, I definitely think it's quite nice. Honestly, in my opinion, I think the Locust could kind of actually be the best buy since it is 1 and 2 on discount. None of them are super crazy impressive per se. I mainly like to get for performance, and since neither of them are really super strong for performance, I definitely say it's the #1 offer. Then I would kinda say that Tomaku would be my #2, to be honest. Tomaku could be kind of my #2 because it was the free vehicle for the Heist Challenge last year, and at the way end of last year there was a Heist Challenge and I made it for free. Honestly, I could kind of jump it up to #1 for me for my options there, but again, because it's anything besides free is basically a rip off of this on this vehicle, I would say it's definitely the #2 spot, being 1 to 2 on discount. In my opinion, honestly, I don't know. The faction has 2 versions, which makes it pretty interesting. I do think the faction is kind of my #3, then the Moonbeam, and then the Virgo Classic for 4 and 5. If I were to have to like rank these from like 1 to 5 or something. From like greatest value to least value, kind of. But yeah. Where did I see the fucking agency safe in here? I forget actually. I don't know, I think I saw 240,000, I'm not sure I saw 250,000 though. I should have got it at 240,000 to be fair, but still. Things weren't the most moved along yet. Let me do that right now, I guess. Get the agency safe then. Not that one, that's at 129,000 for my technology, like nightclub safe. One I don't really bother with, to be honest. I don't really bother with the popularity missions, to be honest. I don't really care to go too much out my way for that. Oh damn, those 2 are happening. Maybe this one happens too then. 15,000 for the arcade. Okay, right before 250,000, it looks like, surprisingly. Hopefully it doesn't change on me while I'm here, that would suck. So we're gonna absolutely stuck if I... Fucking shit, fruit, no fuck man, damn. I was doing so good though now, of course. got at the very last moment. Would have absolutely sucked if I got 10,000 at the last moment there. So 20,000. That would have totally sucked for sure. Shitty fucking throat. Swear, shitty fucking throat pushing me to repeat stuff constantly. God damn it, though. Alright. Yeah. God damn it, fucking throat. Damn. She just barely in time. But yeah, I think I mentioned pretty much every positive I can think about on all these few different vehicles. Unfortunately, it's mostly negative on this vehicle's performance, which is the main reason to buy vehicles certainly in the game. So you can do good in racing situations and stuff.
I know they're really safe. Okay, maybe we can lease one or buy pre-owned.
But yes. Now to go over money opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Besides for ones that were already mentioned, like the Acid Lab, I think I pretty much mentioned just about anything I could think of with the Acid Lab. If I didn't say much about it, it's because I haven't really touched the Acid Lab much myself yet. I still gotta do a stream on it, which I'll probably want to do this month since summer's coming around pretty soon. Which is typically when they do GTA Online DLCs. But yeah, just to recap on the Acid Lab business now, since it was a while ago, so I guess I thought at least a little bit more about it. Do not steal supplies. Steal supplies is garbage. It's like any other passive business. Buy supplies. Make your money through other methods. Money opportunities or otherwise, obviously, and that's always good, no matter an event or not. Buying supplies is only like 60,000 even compared to like 75,000, I believe, with the other ones. So even getting like 15,000 cheaper buying supplies with the newer business. Acid Lab, you can even buy supplies on your phone, which is the most convenient way of buying supplies for any passive business in the entire game. No real reason not to buy the supplies that we're stealing, which is pure waste of time, as I've mentioned. Again, 1.5 times the money RP. I think that can be more like 700, 800,000 at the highest with like a pretty populated lobby and whatnot. Instead of like the 500,000 like normal, I believe I've heard it is for like a full batch at like highest amount of like 25 players for like max sale bonus and shit. For like, yeah, 25 players like max sale bonus and shit. Again, this is your final week for Elasto's hard mode event. Mostly clothing stuff. Yes. Elasto's hard mode event last week for that. Mostly clothing stuff. But the very cool micro SMG finish, you can get this micro SMG finish here if you do all missions in hard difficulty. Just have to play all missions on hard, you don't have to like do without dying or anything. Just complete every mission on hard. Dying doesn't matter and you get the weapon finish.
That's right. Who needs a government bailout? When you're ready to move out here and make real money, you let me know.
I think I'm going to talk about the Plus subscription here now, because I'm not a big fan of the Plus subscription. I think it's pretty garbage most of the times, especially this time. Yeah. But yes. For those that want to know how much you save with the Vapid Slam Truck for the subscription, you save 1,310,000. Not very great compared to other vehicles they've done even recently for the subscription. Yeah. Utility classing is pretty interesting. It's got pretty unique classing. Yes. Yes. Pretty unique classing, hydraulics. Being pretty good in its unique utility classing are really the only couple like super good strengths about it. Which I think are some pretty nice strengths that people don't really tend to think about. But yeah, that's mostly disappointing now, for reasons I mentioned earlier. But Nano Drone. I think this is the drone for your arcade, the Nano Drone here, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you can do this one in free mode, on foot and everything. I do not believe there's a range limit on this one, unlike the terabyte drone, which there is a range limit on it. Yes, I do think the nano drone does have unlimited range, I believe, unlike the terabyte drones at school. But again, it's pretty niche though. But again, it's pretty niche though. Because it's mostly just useful for player versus player. I don't necessarily think you can make much of any money with the vehicle even. I don't think you can use it in like VIP works and stuff, which really ruins the potential of it though. I don't think so at least. If it's anything like the invade and persuade tank and stuff.
Had a pretty shitty weekend, actually. I was supposed to go to the beach, but they completely shut down the Elysian Fields freeway. No, all the service roads were fucked because of it. Yeah. Go for a walk. Good one. Alright.
Plus subscription like expires on June 7th for this month around, by the way. So you got a little less than a month this time around for this stuff, I believe. And yeah, by the way, I think summer updates typically release in July when it comes to this game, so I don't really think June 7th is necessarily much of an indicator for anything. I don't know, maybe they could announce stuff for the summer DLC on June 7th, but I wouldn't expect the summer DLC to release on June 7th per se. For those wondering about that, maybe. But yes. Once again, unfortunately, there is brand new chameleon paints. I swear they only gave us, like, I swear they only gave everybody, like, the initial batch of chameleon paints. Everybody only gets the initial batch, but then any, like, add-on ones it seems they fucking do for the plus subscriptions, fucking bullshit, though. How many, like, there's barely been any color additions in, like, DLCs and stuff. Pure gold, like, paint, like, on my hipster update, and aside for that, I swear, I personally feel it's only been the pure gold paint in, like, 2014, and then chameleon paints pretty much. Now we're added down the line. Pretty sad, I feel, honestly. I wish it would do more for everybody and not just for us, but oh well. Anyways, the two new chameleon paints. Those would be anodized purple pearl, and then it will be red/orange lip chameleon paints. So some pretty nice chameleon paints. They sound like they would be pretty nice. That may sound just like they'll be pretty fun to use. And yeah, again, you're only getting a drone station, you're not getting a free arcade. So you gotta go out of your way to get the arcade so you can claim the drone station in the first place. The arcade would have been a whole lot better instead of the drone station, but whatever. So yeah, you do need to get the arcade yourself though. For the cosmetic stuff, you get zebra dome motorcycle helmet, and then purple snakeskin spiked motorcycle helmet, and then you get dark blue vinyl and dark blue vinyl cut jackets. So you're getting like biker jackets and helmets. Pretty cool biker themed clothing, definitely, especially the helmets. Jackets on the other hand, maybe not as great there. And yeah. Money, I already mentioned the free mode event part, and like all my advice and stuff. For your particular advice and stuff, again, your best option is criminal damage. I don't really want to go into the rest of it. I think criminal damage can be like 110,000 right now. Or like 105,000 or some crazy shit right now on triple. If you have that subscription for criminal damage in particular. Which is pretty much your one only best option, pretty much. All the rest will not compare, I would argue. Aside from maybe like air checkpoints and stuff, that can maybe be the next best. And yeah. This one's pretty fucking funny. This is the second and only other money opportunity that's in the subscription service, the GTA Plus subscription. G's cash, 1.5 times more. 1.5 times money RP for June 7th for the G's cash. Apparently it's more like 20,000 normally, you're only getting like 30,000 or some shit per G cash. I mean, if you do it every single day, which is pretty easy to do, then yeah, you can maybe get a couple $100,000 or something like that if you do it each day in the subscription. But that's quite the dedication to have to go on this game every single day. I feel really... It's fucking laughable they should have done it, like... Fucking laughable they should have done it on something much more worthwhile. But yeah, G's cash, it's pretty disappointing. 1.5 times isn't that much more, really. I mean, it could have been fucking taxi work. It could have been fucking taxi work or some shit, and that would have been so much fucking worse. I mean, it's not necessarily too bad, but it's not great either. And then there is a discount, like they were suggesting. But yeah, knife gen only discount requires a subscription service. And yeah, it's not going to be your still apartments. No apartments whatsoever, funnily enough. You don't get the new 50-car garage either, it looks like, for discount. What you do get for discount, though... Trying to find a 10-car garage. Okay, yeah, like this. Garages. Standalone garages are 50% off on the subscription. Yes, you heard that shit right. So it seems the most savings you get on one garage is like $75,000. Bruh. Shit's fucking nothing, bro. What the fuck? And yeah, garages are only if you really want to be cheap. Get as many apartments as you can, though. Yes. Garages are only, like, if you're being cheap. You're better off getting apartments, though, so you can get more locations to do heists. But yes, more apartments equals more location possibilities for your 2015 heists. You cannot do heists through like traditional garages, so don't bother with the garages if you're planning on getting more locations for heisting. So I wouldn't bother with that discount at all. It's garbage. Oh, and there is one more discount. There. Heavy utility vests. Might be difficult to see in my gameplay, but 50% off the heavy utility combat outfits.
I got some great projects that need outsourcing.
Looks like it has to be outfits, cannot be your standalone outfits though. Or it can't be the standalone vest, it has to be like the outfit thing in particular or something. Go to a clothing store to show what I mean.
Hi there.
But yeah.
They have that in multiple colors.
Outfit slot number 17 out of 54 here. Heist heavy combat outfits. These are 50% off if you have the plus subscription. But it's barely any savings at all. Each one has those vests. The vests don't do anything in free mode. They only work in 2015 heists. They don't work in 2017 heist for some reason. And they don't work in Dom Casino and Cayo Perico heists. Because most of that is in free mode anyways. But yeah, definitely get them for your 2015 heists. But they have no other purpose pretty much. So do keep that in mind. You get some very nice bullet resistance with those. Hence the name of my outfit. But yeah, you do move slower with those vests. Again, only in 2015 heist, that's the only time they work. So in the 2015 heist, you will move slow. 2015 heist, you will move slower with the vests. But yeah, you get crazy tankiness though. Which is a very worthwhile trade-off for sure. Not in every mission, but most heist missions in the 2015 heists. But yeah, I find it very fucking ironic though. find it very fucking ironic though that they put standalone garages on discount and no apartments attached to them. But then they also discount the, like, heavy utility vest, like, outfit things, like, that's quite counterintuitive. You would think they would do, like, the entire site. But no. It's quite the fucking joke. It's quite the funny, like, irony and shit. And yeah, again, Rockstar did not put it on the menu for some reason, but Danger Panther is back. You only have until May 17th to pick it up again. It's 2,170,000 if you want it. It's $2,170,000 if you want it. I don't recall it performing that good though. From what I recall from Bruffy 1322, it does not perform that well. So yeah, it does not perform that good apparently for the sport class. So it's pretty fucking garbage, really. The only cool thing about it is the unique manufacturer, Tundra. No other vehicle has that manufacturer, apparently. So it's pretty cool in that regard, the unique manufacturer. Anything else is fucking garbage, though. Pretty much. And yeah, time to finally cover the last money opportunity here. The title. Again, I explained I didn't want to do his title, but there wasn't that many good options really for a title. That was different than what I already did and everything. Of recent in the last month. Or like a couple months, whatever. Throughout the entire DLC. But yeah. Adversary modes. Adversary modes, the money depends on like the amount of rounds, like how long it all goes and everything. I would say at most you would probably make a couple 100,000 for like the max amount of rounds in an adversary mode and everything, a couple 100,000 at most. For like an hour-ish of time and stuff. Not that great. You don't really want to play adversary modes for money making, you just want to play it for fun though. And yeah. Deadline is always pretty much in the game, it's not even a limited time game mode either. So there's not really much of a fear of missing out reason to play it either. It's not only around for a month to get vaulted again or whatever, that's not something they really do with Deadline. Deadline is essentially a permanent adversary mode in the game. Yeah, it's a very permanent adversary mode, unlike the other ones, for the most part. Or most of the other ones, of course. I mean, it's not the only one like that, it's one of the ones that is permanent, pretty much. There's not really too much incentive to play it, to be honest. I think you do have to play it one time to get the Tron bike, though. Yes. I think you have to actually play Deadline to purchase the Tron Bike, the Shotaro, though. So if you cannot purchase the Shotaro, it's because you haven't played the... Yeah, if you can't purchase the Shotaro, it's because you haven't played Deadline yet. It's quite simple there. Yeah, Deadline's definitely a very fun game mode, but don't do it for serious money making or anything. And yeah, besides for that, there's a few discounts left, and that's pretty much it. Couple more vehicles. Couple more vehicles, a couple weapon discounts. And yeah, vehicles on discount are from the Chrono Enterprise DLC that's yet to be covered. So aside from the Locust, you're getting some pretty recent vehicle additions for discounts this time around within like the last year. So you're getting a lot of discounts within like the last year of the game, which is kind of nice. Aside for the Locust, that's like the only super old vehicle at this point for a discount. Between 4 vehicle discounts. But yes, Torero XO, because Torero XO, instead of being $2,890,000, it is $2,023,000. Almost 900,000 savings. Not too shabby. Instead of like almost 3 million, it's just a little over 2 million. Very nice savings. So I have to go on roughly 152 spreadsheet, go over performance on this one. Alright. Torero XO. That is in the B tier for the supercar class. Pretty high in B tier. But it only gets 11th place for a lap time at best. At best 6th place top speed.
I can bring them round.
Just leave me be. Just leave me be.
It's on the way.
Ain't my first rodeo.
No one messes with me.
But yes, apologies, someone really got my way in real life again, so doing this HSW town crawl right now. And from there, I'll just talk to his last few discounts pretty much, and that's it. Oh, so fuck, okay. I did not expect to hit that rock. I was wondering if I was going to make it at that point, depending on how my vehicle hit it. I guess the vehicle didn't hit it and then went in midair or some bullshit, or went in the water or some bullshit. The first try, probably because I wasn't commentating much on the mic. I didn't feel I really wanted to commentate while racing. I did not want to commentate while doing that sound trial for sure. Not that's a hard one or anything. The Deficit 8 HSW that's very top speed focus. It's probably the best top speed HSW supercar in the game. It happens to be the HSW vehicle I'm using in the time trials right now. But yes. Back to Torero XO. Back to Torero XO since I was kind of interrupted a bit in real life. Again, high 2 mil, almost 3 mil from like to like low 2 mil. Almost 900,000 savings. Kind of nice there for sure. As I said earlier, it is in the B tier for supercar class. B tier supercar class Torero XO. Good enough for 11th place for lap time, which is underneath top 10, which is not that great there, but it's not too terribly beneath top 10 at least. But it is number 6 for top speed at best. I think with the new supercars for the NTMT and then the like HSW version, as far as those two, aside for those two, I don't really think there was any new supercars for Drug Wars. So I think that makes it like 8th place at like worst. So maybe it will be good enough top speed to be top 10 for at least an update or two, hopefully. So yeah, you could probably be kind of successful with it for a little bit. For however long this game keeps going, of course. I'm predicting at least an update or two, maybe. Since Supercar is a pretty popular class for Rockstar to do new vehicles in. So yeah, it can be kind of worth it. Though it's not like top 5 or top 3 or even the top 1 option in any case for 9th gen. Again, it's a little better in 8th gen where you don't have HSW though. As that kind of suggests in the time trials and stuff. And then, yeah. Last discount for vehicle will be another Criminal Enterprise one. We gotta go to Southern for that. And that will be the Drogger. 30% off the Drogger. Very respectable off-road vehicle, actually. Honestly, I gotta say, I think this will actually be the best discount for the vehicles this time around for the 4 vehicle discounts. So I gotta find on the spreadsheet here that I'm on my phone with and everything off stream. Okay. Draugr, good news, is actually on the very top of S tier, which is the absolute best placement it could have actually for off-road class. And that makes it the number 1 for lap time, but it is 4th place for top speed. So you're getting the best lap time, which means it will be your best option and for the most part, it will be your best off-road racing option, unless it's on like a highway or like a really long straight on like an airport runway or something. There, it's 4th place for top speed, which is not terrible at all. Top 5 there, still very respectable. And yeah, that's the same performance for 8th gen and 9th gen, because there is no HSW vehicles for 9th gen in off-road class. But yeah, very damn good vehicle. With an austere, very damn vehicle from the last like year. Definitely one that can be very valuable for a long time at least. Unless they did like a super crazy off-road update, which I highly fucking doubt they'll do. And last but not least, gun van discounts. So discounts this time around, that will be for weapons, compact EMP launcher. Okay, they're both heavy weapons. So I'll start off with the subscription only discount here. All the ammo glitches in the game emptied out my homing launcher and my fucking compact EMP launcher, just great. Yeah, homing launcher. You can lock on the vehicles. So clearly it's super fucking good. Very damn good plus discount. Homing launcher can always be one of your most useful weapons in the game. Unless you're against like a money-tech vehicle. Can always be one of your best weapons in the game unless you're going against a money-tech vehicle, that's for sure. And with certain aircraft, it's probably just better to use like an explosive sniper, but this can still be quite viable. Since then you could get like a pilot flying like circles or something, which could be kinda good. To put pilots on their feet and shit. In a sense. And yeah, compact EMP launcher. Contrary to the ammo count, I don't actually fucking use this thing. Fucking shit fruit. But yes. Contrary to the ammo count, I do not use this thing. My ammo is 0 just because of ammo glitches being a bitch in this game. Like I clearly don't use thousands of fucking sniper rifle ammo each day or anything. I don't even play this game anywhere near each day. But yeah. Interesting utility weapon. Pretty hard to use it though. Because it shoots grenades with the EMP properties, like the arena mines that have the EMP properties. Good luck getting a fine bike. To be clear, I don't hate the Mark II oppressor, any like weaponized vehicle much really in this game. I think the weaponized stuff is pretty interesting, so I'm just using it as an example, so I don't hate the Mark II for those that wonder. But yes. Trying to think how to describe it here. Good luck hitting a flying bike with a fucking grenade. Grenades are small as shit. How the fuck you gonna be hitting a flying bike or anything that really matters with it? So yeah, it's hard to hit like a lot of the targets you want to be wanting to hit. Some of the craziest vehicles in this game are pretty much aircraft. You're not really going to be really hitting the aircraft much with this. Clearly not. It's only going to be really good for certain land vehicles. Even then, EMP, electromagnetic pulse, it disables the vehicles. You would think it disables weapons, but it does not. I think there's only one vehicle in it. Apparently there's only one vehicle and has like the weapons tied to the engine and that's the buzzard. But yes. Buzzard attack chopper is the only like vehicle in the game apparently that has the like weapons tied to the vehicle. So you can stop a vehicle, but it's just not going to do much. You can still use the weapons and shit. Unless you're going against the buzzard, which probably won't be getting hit by it anyways, being an air vehicle. Saving hit's not really too helpful for that too. But it's a very nice, can be a very nice utility weapon for something like vehicle cargo. The vehicle cargo business can definitely benefit pretty greatly from this thing. But yes, vehicle cargo benefits greatly from this thing. Sure, your vehicle cargo will get damaged, but it's pretty good for obtaining vehicle cargo. Because you can use it on a motorcycle. You can use it on a motorcycle or a boat. Wouldn't really be too helpful on a boat. Motorcycle, especially for vehicle cargo, very damn good combination for the compact MP launcher. Probably the best use we'll get out of the thing, honestly. If you even end up using it at all. But yes, I think that is finally be it for the stream. Sorry it took longer than expected, but Fruit was being shit for like the second half of the stream or some shit if it wasn't gonna do it. Yeah, that's finally be it for the stream. Next stream will either be next event stream or maybe I'll finally do my fucking Acid Lab stream I wanna do. So I might do that after even. That's, yes, that's finally be it for the stream. Hope you enjoyed.